What's up, everybody? It's your boy Thomas.
And I'm Bree.
And this is from
Raleigh With Love.
And what's up, baby? What's the problem?
You make me laugh. Anyways.
I'm sorry.
Alright, so we were sitting around one time before and we were talking to friends and we came up on the topic of how often should sex be had in a relationship.
Yeah.
How often do you think? Because clearly it kind of went around the corner, around the way during the conversation. So now we want to have a conversation about how often we think it should be had, and we found some statistics for y'all too to go along with it.
Okay. All right, let's get to it.
Yo, he was brushing me.
Yeah, let's get to
it.
it.
All right, so I'll start and I'll tell you how often I think we should have sex. Or people. I'm not going to say we because I don't want people to get too oof. But how often people or people in a relationship should have sex.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So I think maybe 2 to 3 times a week.
2 to 3 times a week. So I feel like we should have sex once a day, or people should have sex once a day. I
feel like we should have, or people should have sex 2 to 3 times a week, because every day just feels unnatural to me. It just feels like too much.
How can it feel like unnatural? How can it feel like that? Like,
because if you put into effect kids, work, all your extracurricular activities, who gonna have enough energy to have sex every single night? So
first off, what about the couples who don't have kids and like all the way full-time job, maybe a part-time job?
All the way
like
full-time?
Yeah, all the way full-time. What about that? Like if you don't have kids, you can't have sex once a day? Waking up at the same time, leaving the house at the same time, you can't have sex?
No,
it's possible.
It is possible, but even when we didn't have kids, it wasn't no every day, all day.
Men, it wasn't every day, all day. That's not what I said, but it was almost once a day. We never really skipped a day where we didn't have sex. You better think that far. I know it was years ago, but.
So why do you think it should be every day?
I feel like it should be every day because people have needs. Men have needs. Women have needs. We may be more sexual than females. Maybe that might not be the case, but I'm just saying that's something that men probably think about a lot on the daily, right? Yeah? No? Okay. I know we do. But I'm just saying, that's why I feel that way, because we think about it every day, all day. You know, that's one of the things that goes through our head a lot, especially with our significant others. Like, man, when I'm gonna meet up, I can't wait till I see my baby. Do some things to my baby.
Do some things.
Yeah, I think about you all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Aren't you sweet?
Yeah. You want to have a session right now?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's crazy. We're going. Alright. How often do you think the average couple has sex?
Maybe 2 times a week.
2 times a week? Alright. My guess was what I said. 2 to 3 times a week. You wanna know what the norm is?
What's the norm?
Once a week.
I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know what y'all doing.
Once a week.
Well, I can't even say that. You know why I can't say that.
It happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said we're going
to explain. Happens. Yes, we've gone once a week before. It's possible, and it does happen. Is it wanted all the time? As far as, do we want to just do it once a week? No. But, hey, life, people. Life. Yeah, so this goes with all that. I mean, the urge is not always there all the time, because it might be like, you know what, I am dumb tired right now, so I don't know what you're trying to do right now. I just want to sleep. You just want to sleep? It's never him.
But, yeah, let's reveal our number.
All right.
How many times
so our magic number, our average a week is my ideal time. So 2 to 3 times a week is our average.
Average. And that's
We can go 1 week sometimes, and sometimes we go 2-3 times a week. 4 maybe.
Sometimes, no times a week.
Shame.
Hey, y'all want me to be honest, right? That's why I'm on this thing, trying to be honest with y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it happens. A lot of things slow down when you're married, when you're in a relationship, when you have kids. Sex has to be one of them things sometimes that slows down because of scheduling. You know, sometimes that's a big thing that we're going to talk about during our YouTube, is to let you know that scheduling is a very important thing. You got to schedule things without even kind of feeling like it's being really scheduled.
Like we have to schedule sex.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly after the kids go to bed. But even then, with the baby now, yeah.
Schedule.
Straight interruption.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, as much as you don't want to have to schedule sex, like, yeah, okay, so we're going to have sex on Friday, we're going to have sex on Saturday, but it's one of those things that we found to kind of help us is to kind of schedule it in. Not even necessarily we're going to look at a planner and say, hey, we're going to have sex this, that, and the third, but it's more so like, well, I know you got to do this week after work, or I know you got to do this week, because he goes out at night sometimes to go work and to go do other photography and videography things.
Mm-hmm.
So he's out later at night and I'm home in the bed asleep. So by the time he come home, I'm tired. So there's probably not going to be anything had at that time. And he's still wired. So yeah, there's nothing that's going to be had. So yeah, so that's what gets in the way of it. So it's like, okay, you don't have a gig this day. You don't have this day. So guess what? Leave some time for me. It's not necessarily like we're going to have sex. It's just, scheduling that quality time. And most times that quality time is when we fit in sex too.
So ladies, don't be tired when your man wants to have sex.
But he gets it. That's all.
I mean, I understand it because of the fact that, like we said, you got to schedule everything with your partner in a way where you can create time for you guys to have sex. That's why we only have sex maybe 2 to 3 times out of the week, which she says average, because there's times where it might be 1 time, but we're not mad at each other, and we're not like, oh, what the heck is going on, and how come we're not doing this? You must be having sex with somebody else. That's not the case.
And I know we got some screw faces out there when we said scheduling sex. It sounds so like, oh my God, how you schedule sex?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it may seem like, oh, if you got a schedule, it's like, okay, I know we're about to have sex, so it takes the fire out of it. Actually, it really doesn't, because when you know that night, oh, we really gonna have sex, or if you know like 2 days before then, it's like, oh God, yeah, I get to have sex with my husband on Friday. It kind of builds up that fire and makes it go, like, so.
Hey,
love it.
Let me tell you.
So it's like, put this on, or wear this, or do that. It helps even with the scheduling, and then it keeps the passion going, because like, you don't get it like that. So when you can get it, and when we do, it's just like,
yeah, just like that. Yeah. I mean, we had one of those nights the other day, which was pretty cool. The other week, I'll say. So the other week, it was like, okay, you got to do this, that, and the third. So when is your free day? And it's like, all right, well, Wednesday I won't be going out. Okay, so Wednesday we'll do something. All right. So what we do is we had dinner with the kids. I went in the room. I was putting away clothes. Excuse me. And then I went in there and picked something out for her and said, hey, babe, I got something I want you to wear for me tonight. When we put the kids in the bed, we'll make things happen. That's exactly what happened. The rest is what it. And
even with him doing that, it was like an instant turn on, because it was like, oh my God, like, okay, I'll put this on for you, boo. Like, so yeah, like, it just, little things like that will always keep it going, keep the fire going. And when you feel like you have to schedule sex, it keeps it from feeling so scheduled. It's just like, the anticipation.
It makes you not pay attention to that if you're doing like little sexual things like that. Like, hey baby, can't wait till Wednesday, our Wednesday date. It's gonna be crazy.
Ted,
look, I got this perfect outfit for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, don't get it on all this. That's my voice I throw on sometimes.
But one of the other things I did want to point out, though, was even though there are times you have to schedule, whenever you get the opportunity for you to be able to just have random sex, do it. Take advantage of it. Like, I mean, take advantage of it, because then that throws in the random that you always miss, you know, when you were single. Yeah. So, or didn't have kids. It helps bring in that random aspect of, woo, okay. And try new things. Go out, venture out. Try something totally different outside of your norm. But that'll be for another video, okay? All right. But I also wanted to point out, too, the same thing when it comes to that. Just because our norm is 2 to 3 times a week doesn't mean it has to be your norm. Your norm is whatever it is between you and your significant other. So if, like, say he wants it every day, I'm a 2 to 3-er a weeker, there's a compromise in between that. So, like, we may go 4 times a week, or we may go 3 times, or sometimes, like he said, 1 time or no times. But it all balances out. So you have to find that norm between you and your significant other. And then also you want to also make sure that when you do find that norm is not going to always stay the same. So like a few years from now, I might say, okay, I need it every day. And then here we go, we're doing it every day because he wants it every day and I want it every day. But, or it can go the other way where it's just like, we don't really need it like that. So
I mean, that's even with now. It changes. Right. I mean, there might be 2 weeks out of the month and we do it every day. I mean, it just has changed since we had kids. So it's like, don't look at it as a bad thing because it changed from before. You know, because some people could look at it, like I said, like, oh, you must be doing something with X, Y, and Z person and not with me. And then you're worried about that so much that it's killing your relationship versus it's just the fact that the scheduling is off. You know, even though as men we think about sex all the time, like every day, it doesn't mean that we're, what's the word I want to say? Like, it doesn't mean that we're like, all right, okay, I don't want it with her, I want it with this other person. It's not that. It's the fact that I don't really need it all day, every day, even though I'm thinking about it, you know? If that makes sense to you, because it makes sense to me, because that's how I am, because, like I said, I could go 3 days without having it, you know, those consecutive 3 days without having it with her, and it's like, okay, I'm good, you know, and she's good. And we're not sitting there looking at each other like, yo, why we have sex last night? Why we didn't do this? And causing arguments, which is going to just bring more drama to your relationship. You're over here arguing about sex. Like, no.
Yep.
Nah.
I know sex is a big part of relationships, and it is a big thing to me when it comes to, especially when it came to choosing who I wanted to be with. Oh, yes.
She didn't know I was doing all that hair in my face.
I'm sorry.
That's going to be a topic, too.
Leave me alone. But, yeah, so hairs. It is a big deal breaker, shall I say, for me. But
sex is a deal breaker with you?
I would think so. Yeah. Why not?
Why would?
Because I feel like if we can't connect on a sexual level, then I can't connect with you outside of that. Like, say, okay, like now that we've already connected that way, I'm okay with it. Okay. And if something happens where we can't connect that way anymore, I will be fine because I know what I had at that, you know, point in time or whatever. But if we first started out and I couldn't connect with you that way,
we'll always connect like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
just remember, as a married couple, as a couple, period, to, if you have to schedule, scheduling is good, always good. But if you have to schedule, make it so that it doesn't feel like scheduling. Make it more so that you know, like you said, lay something out for your wife or girlfriend or husband, so on and so forth. Or
make it feel special.
Yeah, so just do something a little bit over the top when it does happen. And the other thing is, one more thing I wanted to actually point out before I end off is you may be in a relationship with someone who doesn't like to have sex as often, and you feel like, geez, when am I going to get it? When am I going to get it? I don't never get it. I got to do this, that, and the third to get it. Take the time to actually talk to your significant other. Ask them why. Talk to them about it. Let them know how you're feeling. Trust me, you'll get a better response than just being mad and picking arguments about it all the time. I feel like that's a big thing when it comes to relationships. We get complacent quick and easy in
That
every
can
aspect.
happen.
Sex, money, anything.
Yeah.
You can get complacent easy. And so to keep from getting that way, conversations always have to constantly be had. Like, I'm always asking him, do I still turn you on? What is it that I need to do to make sure that you're still turned on? I'm constantly asking him, not because, oh, I feel like I gotta bow down and make sure he's pleased and all this other stuff, because it's definitely reciprocated. But it's more so because I don't want to ever lose that fire in myself when it comes to him and how he views me and how he looks at me. So the constant conversation is so necessary, and you have to always, always, always keep it open between you two. Do you agree?
That's true. I definitely agree. I agree with that. I agree with if it comes down to scheduling everything, when it comes to sex, the best bet is to make it as special as possible. If you have kids, it can be like that. If you don't have kids, it could be like that, where your scheduling is just off and you're just trying to make something better together. So the scheduling could be off sometimes. So your sex life may decrease. So with that, you just need to basically say, okay, let's have this conversation. You don't cause a trouble with each other. Excuse me. You don't cause trouble with each other. What you would do is you just have that conversation. You talk. Y'all figure it out and come to a conclusion. That's what happens with most communication when it comes to people, is that you don't come to a conclusion. You talk about it, you argue about it, and you just be like, all right, well, that's it. And then y'all either still talking again and y'all cool, but you never came to a conclusion of what you were talking about. So that's the main thing. Come to a conclusion when you're having a conversation about sex. And then it'll help y'all to be like, all right, well, we both agree on something, so we're going to do it this way. And this is why we have sex this many times. Get a better understanding of why this person is not having sex as many times as you think you should be having sex. Because like we said, the average is what, 2 to 3?
Once a week.
No, the average is once a week.
Our average is 2 to 3.
No, the average is once a week. Oh, my bad. I forgot.
Is once a week.
Yeah, which is, I said was crazy. But, you know, that's an average. It's not, this is a statistic average. That's not really it, you know? That's not really it. That's not everybody. I mean, like I said, we do it once a week, sometimes a month. There have been times where it was what? Once a month? Yeah.
It's never been once a month.
She must
Maybe
know.
once every 2 weeks.
No.
But it's never been a whole month. We've never gone a whole month without doing anything. Only one time. Never. See, we're arguing. No, we're not. But yeah, so before we get out of here, 3 things. Always remember, if you have to schedule and make it right. Second thing is to, whatever your norm is, that's your norm. Don't think that because Susie and Harry doing it once a week or 7 days a week means you have to do it 7 days a week. You don't. As long as everyone's being pleased and getting what they need to get out of it, and we're on the same page, same level, your norm is your norm. Keep it that way. And number 3, keep the communication open. Always talk to each other. Always, always. On any topic, but for this purpose of this video, always talk to each other about your sex life. Yeah. Don't let that be a faux pas to talk about. Okay? Anything else?
That's it, baby. I'm good.
All right. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching, people.
Make sure you subscribe. Thumbs it up.
Thumbs it up.
Yeah, give us thumbs up. And also, comments. If you have anything to say about the topic we just discussed, if you have questions, or if you even have, if you disagree or agree, put it below. We do comment back, so make sure you put it below. And also, follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram. It should be somewhere.
It'll scroll through here.
It'll be up here.
Boom,
You'll see
boom,
it.
boom, boom.
I don't know where it's going to be at.
In the here.
Right there.
Make sure you follow us, guys. All right.
Thank you for watching.
Mwah.